welcome to this video, and I'm going to share some ways to feel healthier and freer this summer. Now, hopefully you're looking forward to a time of good weather and some time off perhaps, and some time with some friends, time with some family, and maybe even going away over the summer period. But perhaps there's a little bit of dread in there as well. Perhaps you're not really looking forward to the bring and share lunches, the barbecues, the picnics, the ice lollies, the ice creams, and it just makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit anxious about how you're going to navigate things when actually you want to be healthy. So that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. And first of all, what you need to do is decide for you, what does it mean to be freer and healthier? What does that look like? For some of you, it will be carrying on as you do normally. So your kind of normal routine, normal habits, you'd like to keep up that kind of exercise, that kind of eating. For others of you, it could be that you just want to eat a little bit of everything in moderation, and you're not so bothered about your normal exercise routine, but you'd like to, say, walk a lot or try a new activity. For others of you, you're like, oh, it's the summer, I'm not going to really think about what I'm eating, and I'm just going to enjoy everything on offer. Or it might be a bit of a combination of those things. And anything is fine if that's what you really want. So at the start of the summer, it can be helpful to have a think about what you really want. What do you want? What does being healthier and be freer mean for you over this summer? And decide what that is. And any of those things are absolutely fine, as long as it's your choice. Okay, I think it's also helpful to visualize and picture how you want to feel in September. So September the 6th, when most of the schools go back, perhaps you go back to work after a little break, perhaps you're not affected at all by school holidays, but September, you know, we're heading into autumn, although usually the first few weeks of September are quite warm, aren't they? But how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel when September comes? Because when we visualize things, then our brain will do little adjustments and try and make sure that we go in that direction. So the more that you picture and you visualize how you want to feel when September comes, the more helpful that will be for your decision-making process in the whole of the summer. And you can also use other events throughout the summer like that. You can picture how you want to feel when you come back from a holiday, picture how you want to feel for your birthday, picture how you want to feel after you've been to an evening party or an evening buffet. So keep visualizing, keep picturing what you really want, and then that will filter backwards into your decision-making progress. And as I mentioned before, any of the choices at the start, they're fine as long as it's your choice and you're not being controlled by anything else like sugar or emotions or trying to please other people, as long as it's your choice. After the summer, I'll be challenging my Forever group, the membership program, whether they had peace in the majority of their decisions over the summer. And that's what I'm always concerned about when I'm working with people, is whether they had peace with their decisions, whether they felt like they were in control, they were able to do as they wanted, but occasionally maybe not, but they still have peace with that. And it really is about peace. It's not about the details. For someone in the group, it could be that they had 3-course dinners and an ice cream every day, completely at peace with that. For another person in the group, they were self-catering, they made all the meals in advance, they took their own snacks, they ate very lightly the whole week, they have peace with that. For another person, they mainly ate as they would do at home, but then they had the odd cream tea or the odd ice cream. And it's not about the details, it's about whether they have peace with those decisions. So it's not about the certain types of food that you eat. And you can break this down as well, and you can aim for peace at the end of each day, or you can aim for peace at the end of each meal. So if you're going on holiday and the whole holiday fills you a little bit with dread in some ways, why not just aim for peace after each meal and just think, actually, I had what I wanted to at the time and I was in control of that. And planning can help you. Planning can help you obtain that peace. Maybe it's cooking meals in advance for self-catering holidays, or offering to be in charge of the cooking, or taking healthy dishes to bring and shares, making plenty of salad or a barbecue, planning that you're read today that someone wasn't going to have the burger bun and just have the meat and salad at a barbecue. You know, what could you do to plan in advance to make sure that you can make the decisions and the choices that you feel peaceful about? And of course, peace is also possible when you're faced with a situation that you really didn't particularly want. But when it's out of your control, there's plenty of grace available. So today, a couple of people came back from the shop. They asked me if I wanted an ice cream. I said no. They came back, surprise, we got you one anyway. And it's like, well, what do? You can't really do much with an ice cream apart from eat it or watch it melt. So I had an ice cream. It wasn't necessarily particularly what I wanted, but there was almost no other option at the time. So I thought, you know what, this is where grace comes in, and then you can have peace with it that way. So hopefully that gives you some tips. But if you remember anything else, it's not about the details. It's about having, if you remember nothing else even, it's about having peace with your decisions. And if you haven't got peace with your decisions, then dig a bit deeper and work out what's going on. But if you have, that's brilliant, and it doesn't so much matter about the details. Okay, so some other tips for the summer: drink plenty of water. How about challenging yourself to have water as your main drink? Whatever else you're drinking, whether that's cocktails, alcohol, teas, coffees, juices, whatever, over the summer, can you make water your main drink? And enjoy being outside. Maybe not when it's quite as hot today, unless you have a pool, but enjoy being outside and the kind of different activities that can bring over the summer. And enjoy the social element and the conversations and everything else that summer entails. It's so not really about the food at all. Food is often at social occasions, but it's the social occasion that's the important thing. Okay, so let me know if any of that was helpful. Maybe write peace, planning, or visualizing, kind of picturing in the comments, and let me know what was the most helpful tip for you. And I will see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.